meetings that were held with the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and many of the presidents, premiers, officials, businessmen. Meetings were held are very, very important.
Right, ma'am, and it also it reflects the importance of Egypt as a center for business and a center of economic relations in general.
Definitely, the conference is asking for, talking about the economy in Egypt and just providing or offering more opportunities for investors in Egypt.
Right, you are, and actually this is a very smart move from him. You know, he
giving special guarantee to anyone who wants to invest in Egypt.
Right, ma'am, and also he made use of the moment itself. I mean, it's a very brilliant idea to announce such a conference in front of the whole world, or in front of the leaders of the whole world, and invite them to attend such a conference. It's a very, very smart movement. I would like to greet him on such a move.
Talking about the meeting that took place yesterday, because you know this is the first meeting to take place between both presidents after President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi became the president of Egypt, and this is very much important. I remember we used to talk a lot in the past about whether United States accepted, America accepted the situation or not. They are not, you know, they are not decisive on taking decisions. So this is the first official meeting asked by President Obama.
Right, ma'am, and this is very important, and actually this without any doubt that what happened in Egypt was a military coup, and definitely when the U.S. President asks for meeting our president, it means that they already recognize what happened in Egypt, and they understand also that Sisi came by the people's choice, not just by a military coup, which definitely is not true. And also Sisi pointed out that what happened in Egypt was a very democratic move, and the people chose him, and it was not a military coup. It has nothing to do with such a thing.
Especially the role played by Egyptians in the United States. Right. You have to praise it as well.
Right, ma'am. They came from many states to greet Sisi.
Right, moving on to another headline, rival Palestinian factions Hamas and Fatah said that they reached an agreement on Thursday for the return of their unity government in Gaza ahead of crucial negotiations with Israel next month. The Palestinian rivals had set up a unity government of independence in June, but it never took hold, with Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas accusing Hamas of running a parallel administration as de facto ruler in the Gaza Strip. How do you read this? We were very optimistic about this in the very beginning, but still, I remember also we talked about whether they're going to do it or not, whether they're going to continue.
Right, you have very good memory actually. Yes, actually we are very sorry to see what happens now, because, you know, like Hamas does not want to give up its role and its authority too. We have discussed also saying that Hamas has its authority, and which means that they have donations, they have power, they have military soldiers, and this is very hard to give up easily. And I think they should have cooperated, as they said and announced before, with Abbas.
President Mahmoud Abbas. Maybe at that time when this decision was taken by Hamas, at that time they did not have an alternative, because it was the time when the Brotherhood organization fell down, just declared as terrorist organization, so they want to save what they can save.
Right, ma'am. That's very true and good analysis of what happened at that time. And I think also they didn't intend to make it this way, because they just showed up on media channels, and that's what happened. And I mean, there is no real steps toward doing such a unity between the Palestinian recognized authority and Hamas. And I think they will pay for that if they continued like this, because the whole Palestinian case has to be submitted and has to be imaged as one unit package, not like different poles who are trying to get as much benefit from each other. It weakens the situation.
Right, let me move on to another headline, and still more taking a look at the main headlines of Al Ahram newspaper. Italian multinational oil and gas company Eni announced on Thursday that it has won 3 concessions in Egypt's western desert and the Mediterranean in bids held in December of last year. The Egyptian General Petroleum Corporation, EGPC, awarded Eni full operatorship of an onshore block located in the western desert, covering an area of 2,058 square kilometers. In addition, Egyptian Natural Gas Holding Company awarded ENI 2 deep water blocks near Cyprus' nautical border in the Mediterranean Sea. How do you read this?
Actually, this is a very good start during this year, and ENI is a big, huge company, and I think they have a lot of potential to do more than that. And definitely the trust that Egypt put in ENI would be well invested in order to get the best out of it. And I hope that this will also be reflected on the welfare of Egyptians as well as the economic status in general. Oil is a big industry.
Right, let me move on to another headline to check out the stock exchange or stock market. Egypt's main index slid another 0.22% on Thursday to close at 9,697 points amid weak turnover. Egyptians were net sellers for 21.3 million Egyptian pounds, while non-Arab foreign investors, who accounted for some 20% of market activity, were the net buyers to the tune of 22.3 million Egyptian pounds. More details in the following report. We'll be back.
Egypt's main index slid another 0.22% on Thursday to close at 9,697 points amid weaker turnout. Egyptians were net sellers for 21.3 million pounds, while non-Arab foreign investors, who accounted for some 20% of market activity, were the net buyers to the tune of 22.3 million Egyptian pounds. Analysts' local selling was driven by profit-taking, particularly on the real estate stocks. Madinat Nasr housing fell 0.78% to 47.03 Egyptian pounds. 6th of October for development and investment company Sadiq slipped 0.17%, and the TNG holding fell 0.43% to 11.47 Egyptian pounds. As the Steel, Egypt's largest steel maker, saw its share price drop 0.1% after it reported on Thursday a net loss of 176 million Egyptian pounds in its H1 2014 consolidated results, compared to a not comparative profit of 302 million pounds in the same period of this previous year. In the telecom sector, Telecom Egypt fell 0.62% to close at 14.32 Egyptian pounds, while the Global Telecom holding dropped 0.4% to 5.04 Egyptian pounds. Commercial International Bank CIB bucked the trend, however, inching up by 1% to 49.73 Egyptian pounds. Total turnover for the session registered a modest 532 million pounds, and the broader EGX 70 was up 0.7%.
So before we proceed, you would like to add anything or comment?
Yes, ma'am. The stock market actually reflects the general economic status of any country. However, what we have seen in the indexes and that report is a normal reflection. I mean, you have some slide down and some slides up, and this would definitely mean that the economic status in Egypt is going okay. We definitely that a lot of investors have been putting some investments lately. However, we have seen somehow some kind of a stable status, which also is a good indicator as a general.
Right, moving on to another headline. UN Chief Ban Ki-moon held a high-level meeting with 30 countries, including Egypt, to discuss the political situation in Libya. Following the meeting, the attendees stressed on the importance of the challenges the Libyans are facing 3 years after the ousting of the Libyan Muammar Gaddafi. A statement by the meeting said that the attendees expressed deep concern over the polarization in the Arab North African country. How do you see the current situation in Libya?
Very bad, very bad. I mean, Libya has been suffering a lot of problems, and they have witnessed a lot of very torturing accidents. We have seen also that a lot of people have been polarized among different interests. The point in Libya is that people are grouped into clans and tribes, and this is the main problem. So if you are from my clan, then I will go for such an interest, and if you are from the other side, then we'll go for another interest. So they have to realize that Libya is one country, and all of them live in Libya, and they have to seek for the general interest of Libya, not just trying to seek personal interests. And definitely I hope that the UN community will help.
Sometimes I believe maybe the word homeland, the country, because
Right.
they missed this meeting, and thanks God that in Egypt we were able to protect our country, because usually this is what happened in many or most of the Arab countries.
Right.
When you got rid, yes, you got rid of the autocratic leader Muammar Gaddafi, Saddam Hussein, whoever, but the way you are dealing with the things after
Is
you can move forward or you can move backward without limits.
right.
So
right.
this is the most important part. How far, even up till now, we did not realize the importance of unity and working